Come on, Chris. Okay, let's call the meeting to order. It's Tuesday, August 10th, 2018. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Minutes and reports received and filed.
The March 2018 sheriff fees filed, treasurer's report filed, and the collector fees filed, all for March.
Okay. Commissioner Committee liaison reports, upcoming meetings and events.
We had a Cole County Extension meeting last week, and Kevin Lawrence is our program director for the Family Nutrition Program. They got a fiscal year 2017 annual report, their SNAP program. Brought y'all each a copy, and then I guess Lynn, you want one, and then we'll put one up there at the front desk if anybody wants to take a look at them. I guess, I don't know, Christy, you know, y'all deal a little bit with the SNAP stuff, so.
We've been coming and sitting in our waiting room and trying to get additional people signed up and providing education. Kevin has very similar.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice brochure and stuff, tell you a little bit about it, so that's for your reading. I also had an email from, here it is, Deanna Dothage, asking to promote the First Impact Traffic Safety Parent Program at Jeff City High School, April 19th, 6:30 until 8 p.m. They've got a Facebook page, just wanting to raise awareness of teen driving risk, understanding Missouri's GDL law and such, so just wanted to pass that along. And then I think we got a meeting tomorrow morning, so at Solid Waste Management District Board meeting this afternoon, or tomorrow afternoon. I think that's it. My phone's doing something funny. I think Debbie got hold of it.
Don't let me touch that.
They're having that solid waste drop off. I saw something in the paper on that.
Yeah. What's today?
Or
10th?
Household hazardous waste or
Yeah.
something.
It's on the 11th, I believe, right?
I thought
Is
there
that
were
tomorrow?
several dates or something where they were having it
Yeah.
open, and then you could call for appointment too.
Yeah, you're really supposed to call because it does get pretty crowded at times. So, April 11th, so that is tomorrow. And you can call down to Jeff City and they'll do the scheduling. And then we do have some of our staff helping do the collection. So, I think that's 9 to 1 or 9 to noon.
Won't have anything before tomorrow morning, but do have some MMRPC planner interviews. Since our planner took our executive director job, we got
Excuse me.
and then supposed to have some EMS has a staff meeting on Thursday morning. So. And then the only other thing would be, had several people ask me about having our director meetings, and so I'd like to have done that for quite a while. Just kind of have an overview of what's going on in different departments. So I'd like to get that scheduled if you guys don't have any objections to that.
Nope.
You guys were usually doing it on Tuesday after the commission meeting.
Right.
So do you want it to start like the 17th or the 24th of April? And if you knew how often, we were doing it once a month before, but if you want to continue that.
Like maybe every other month or something? Or?
Yeah, I think every other month is probably.
You want to start next week or the week after?
Whatever works.
All right, we'll just
I
go
don't
ahead on the 17th.
remember what we had on the 17th or 24th.
We're usually done. I was going to put this at noon.
Yeah.
We're usually done by noon, so. Okay, I'll
Okay.
get that started again for you.
I got something at 1 on the 17th, so.
You want to start the 24th?
I thought there was something else we were doing on 24th too, or is that in the morning?
That's in the morning.
Okay. phone's back up now.
We'll go for the 24th then. Okay?
So you got?
Yep.
Okay, I got a dedication at the Senior Nutrition Center today at 2. Got the Chiefs meeting Thursday night. Friday morning, I think, is Renegade. And then
I
I
just
think
saw
John's been in. I guess I get to do KWAS. And then Saturday is the Sons of the American Revolution Awards ceremony. I'll try to make that. That's all I got. Anything else?
Got Home Builders Association meeting tomorrow night. And then I think Chiefs meeting is Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Yeah, so, okay.
Okay, we're gonna move right along here. Cause I told Claudia we would put her in first. This is National Library Week, April 8th through the 14th. Claudia, if you would come forward. We have a proclamation. Whereas libraries are not just about what they have for people, but what they do for and with people. Whereas libraries have long served as trusted and treasured institutions, and library workers and librarians fuel efforts to better their communities, campuses, and schools. Whereas librarians are leaders in our institutions and organizations in their communities, in the nation and the world. Whereas librarians continue to lead the way in leveling the playing field for all who seek information and access to technologies. Whereas libraries and librarians look beyond their traditional roles and provide transformative opportunities for education, employment, entrepreneurship, empowerment, and engagement, as well as new services that connect closely with patrons' needs. And I'm not even halfway through, but now therefore be it resolved that we, the Cole County Commission, proclaim National Library Week, April 8th through the 14th, 2018. We encourage all residents to visit the library this week and explore what's new at your library and engage with your librarian. Because of you and our library leaders, libraries transform. So we're going to come around and do a picture.
Appreciate this. All right, oh, right in the middle. That sounds good. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
all.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. I appreciate this acknowledgement of the value of libraries in this community, where your tax dollars at work. And if you don't have a library card, I would strongly encourage you to come over sometime and get one. There's so much that we offer beyond books, even from your devices. There are apps that you can get, and you can read ebooks and listen to audiobooks from the comfort of your own home once you get that library card. And thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Claudia.
Okay. Since Judge Beadham is here, and I assume, do you have, we will kind of,
I don't know if you need anything from me.
Just any questions, the approval of the sole source is the next on the agenda.
oh, okay, and we will keep going. Approval for sole source 2018 SS05 stenotype machines.
You forgot to do a selfie with Claudia. Sorry, keep moving, keep moving.
Come on, Fluffy. His nickname's Fluffy today.
Okay, I was like, you call him Fluffy here.
Yeah, Jen was gonna whoop you.
Yeah.
Me, I just laugh about it.
We had run that in the paper a couple weeks ago. The judge was in here to kind of explain that was a smaller piece of a larger picture. It ran uncontested. So that's just the approval for the purchase of those stenograph machines.
Move that we approve and sign the sole source advertisement for stenograph machines.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Well, that was too easy for you.
Then my business will take easy anytime.
Same here. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Judge.
Okay. Bid awards, 2018-21 flooring replacement.
I had emailed you guys a while back regarding a little confusion on the bids themselves. The bid tab you're looking at reflects the updated version of what was intended to be submitted. There's the base bid from Beautiful Home Interiors and Scruggs that are the low bids to be considered. Then Scruggs also proposed an alternate with a lifetime commercial warranty. I highlighted the two at the bottom under total cost, combined project options. I know it was Christie's preference to go with the hard flooring throughout, and since the cost is very comparable, if not less, those are kind of the ones I highlighted to look at. Obviously, any of them are an option. The flooring samples are here. If you guys have any questions or comments or want to look at those closer.
What did we have budgeted in on that flooring for that?
Well, so there's two projects in here. There's ESB,
Right.
and then there's health. And so,
Well, there's three because there's the EMS dispatch too. When we were out there,
Okay,
they
well,
wanted
I-
to get a cost for that. So.
right, that's just for their dispatch area.
Right.
I think for the health building, I had originally got a rough estimate from, that it was gonna be 95,000. So our portion, even if we go with the alternate throughout, is 84, so it's a little bit less than that original rough estimate.
So I sent you guys that, those prices, on the health department as to, we haven't really prioritized, but I did put some, numbers together. And I think I had, trying to stay within that, 200,000 kind of number we had talked about.
Right.
I had 50,000 down for flooring. But, you know, all that's, we can move some stuff around, or we can add to it, or I think one of the big things out there that I didn't realize that it was that bad, but the parking lot is really shot. And so we can patch it for another year or something, but at some point we're gonna be fixing it in the very near future. And that was about 50 grand. And then the other thing that I had in there too, and of course that's the next discussion, was the electronic health records. And
Right.
so, I mean, if we're gonna hold off on that for a while, you know, that was $35,000 or something.
Right.
Is what I had in there, so.
Right, that is the next discussion, but I think the decision will be to wait for that for a little while. So I just got an email this morning reminding us that we have to spend that $20,000 from MFH by the end of May. Or
Right.
we have to give it back, so
Okay.
that does help soften the blow of $84,000 for flooring.
And you said, what will WIC help us with?
Once we can figure out the amount of the building that is spent on WIC, we can submit, and we're hoping to get that from the floor estimates. We can calculate the square footage, we can submit it to them, and they will reimburse us for, I'm not sure what portion, but reimburse us for some of the costs we have for anything that will be used for WIC. So that includes paint and flooring and everything else. So we will be able to submit that, and we have to submit that by the end of May, because they have to turn it in to the federal government by July 1. So we are kind of waiting until we awarded the floor bid so we could get their dimensions and do some calculations, because we don't have a floor plan that has very exact dimensions. So we will hopefully get reimbursed for that too.
So you'll be able to use some of that for the flooring, you think, then?
Yes.
You can get it submitted,
Yes,
even though it won't have been billed yet?
right.
Okay.
We just need to lay out the cost for them and what it's gonna cost for everything that is the WIC portion of the building.
So when you say that we're gonna put off the electronic health records, I mean, is that for a year, 2 years, 6
Did you
months?
send this?
They have a copy of it in front
Okay,
of them.
so Jennifer is so great, we're gonna miss her while she's gone on maternity leave, but she needs to go. So, that's just one of those things you gotta do. If we put it, the bid is good through June 30th, so if we wait to sign it and hopefully work through the band with issues and work with Patagonia, we have to give notice to our current provider, but we're kinda on the hook until the end of the year. So we're thinking of delaying it, you know, until later in the year, till hopefully we get the bandwidth issues resolved when we move, and then be able to implement like in January. Sorry.
Mhm.
And then the.
Yeah, I mean, are we gonna
and
talk
then-
about this
yeah, so if
one?
you wanna talk about that one first. And the cost was actually,
The 1 year cost, okay, so if you guys, yeah, if you look at the bid tabulation, basically we got 4 bids in. They got demos from Patagonia and Harris, determined Patagonia was the better fit. If you look at that column, there's a cost with discount and without discount. It's not a huge difference, but it is a difference. With the discount is if we sign the contract by April 20th. Without is obviously if we don't, and their bid is good through the end of June. So hypothetically, and I listed some discussion points and concerns in the bottom right, but hypothetically, if we did sign that at the end of June, that timeline that I included on the second page, everything would kind of go to where we would be looking at starting the new software package at the beginning of December. You can see the total 5-year cost for just the software we're looking at the top, and then the 1 year cost directly below that. And then at the bottom, with those extra things I put on there, the eFax is optional, but they said that that is something they will need. And then the communicator app, we're not sure if we'll need that, but we've gone back and forth with this vendor so many times that we just wanted some direction on what we're gonna do. But that's a potential cost, we're just not sure. Ongoing service from the current provider, they're not carrying over any of their data, correct? So they'll need to keep that up and running for a year. So that's the cost for that. And then the total 5-year cost, all things included, worst case scenario is at the bottom in green. And like I said, there's a few discussion points that probably need to be touched on that I outlined in the bottom corner. Is the timing right? Do we want to proceed with the software without having the bandwidth issue addressed? The physical move, you know, is everything time-wise going to work out with that? I know that Brian had some concern over not hosting on site. I don't know if that's a deal breaker, but it was a concern. And then obviously our cost will be going up to go to this new software, but I don't think anyone will tell you, you know, that they don't need something different, but it's just pointing that out. Yeah, that's the worst case. There's still some question too, if you did make the determination to move forward, as far as some costs that we would want to talk further with them about. Specifically, they have a cost on there for moving some data that will not be moved. But again, this just reflects where we are at this point.
So you're saying Patagonia is who you're,
That's who the health department determined is the best fit for their needs.
We had that included on the 200,000.
It was in that budget
So
that I had sent you, but,
was that part of it then, or was it separate?
no, it was, well, it was in the numbers, and I,
Should it have been with it, or should it have been separate for that? 'Cause I guess was where I'm going.
I mean, you can, I think you can pull anything out of there that you wanted. I mean, I was just kind of trying to show a total number and then what they had in the grant. I mean, they had 20,000 in the grant, so I was just trying to, but, I mean, yeah, you could say that that wasn't part of it.
Wasn't part of the 200 that we had as far as the health department additional costs. That's just where I'm looking at, is the
Right.
bottom dollar. So that 35 that we have in there, or what did we have in there for the health records?
It was 35.
It was 35, yeah.
Okay. Did we have that separate in capital then? Do you remember?
Did we have it separate? I know at budget time, we talked about the 35,000 was always in there. We just really didn't know about the capital, you know. That's progressed as the year has come, you know. Probably is two separate things, even though it's gonna come from the same place, but really one has not to do
So,
with.
yeah, so the question becomes is,
Is that part of the 200,000?
right. And,
So-
and then what is the grant? Is the grant for the EHR or is the grant for whatever? I mean, you could say the grant could be used for either, right?
Right.
And I'm fine with that. What I'm saying is, did we have 200,000 and that 35 was part of the 200,000 for the health department? Or was it 200,000 plus the 35,000?
I don't
So it's
think we ever had
235.
that detailed discussion.
Okay. I thought and maybe it always was just kind of gray, that we had the health records in on that pricing, but we talked about it separately, if that makes sense. That we talked about the 200,000 to help get the move done and completed,
Right.
furniture, flooring, HVAC. Health records was kind of a separate discussion, so was it a separate additional amount? If it is, I think we're all right proceeding with the health records and then keeping the 200,000 for the health department move. And doing all the flooring. Either that or I think we have to back out some flooring or back out the driveway or something to keep it at the 200.
Can the driveway be patched for, I mean,
For a year, maybe.
Maybe at the most.
I mean, it's bad.
But it makes sense to do it all now
Right,
before
right.
everybody gets on it. So
And that was the point of trying to get you some numbers there. I was just trying to go through some of that. And so, obviously I got the EHR and you guys have that spreadsheet that I sent you.
if you back that out of there, we're under our 200,000.
We are, but keep in mind that we don't have a number for painting in there yet.
And it wasn't the full amount for the flooring.
Right.
Yeah, and I only had 50 grand in there for the flooring.
Okay.
And I was just trying to throw some numbers out there. Just by no means reflect what we've got bid, but some of the carpet and some of the flooring probably was okay.
we don't know what would,
We would have to, like I said, we have to figure out exactly the square footage and then submit the cost to them.
so that's kind of an unknown.
It is an unknown.
Well, but we could figure that up pretty quick. I mean, I think definitely all the common areas, the hallways and all that. And then there's some other areas that will have to have new flooring. There was just kind of one wing that had some carpet that was, probably could last for a little while longer. I mean, but, so that's kind of where we're at. I mean, we still don't have a painting number. We don't have the full number for and what's the full number for the health department? Is it 80?
For the carpet and that,
It was 84.
84,465.
Okay.
Yeah, depending on, which option you went with.
Right.
The health record system is a priority though, right? Probably at the top of the list.
But we gotta kinda wait to get some other stuff done, right?
Looking at
Think
them,
so?
they think so.
Yeah. Because that's basically what I just said. Here's your pot of money. Which ones do you want to do first? Which ones do you want out of that pot of money?
It's a priority, but the timing, you know, we need to get the bandwidth issue fixed also. Because part of it is probably CGM is really old, so it's probably not interfacing very well with our new Microsoft products, but it is also because our bandwidth is very slow. And then it just doesn't do some of the things that an electronic health record should do because it's a very old system, so.
So that price may not even be accurate. It may cost us a lot more if we have to do something with bandwidth.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that was one of those
Yeah.
points, is that we're gonna have to do something with the bandwidth. Brian is working on getting quotes together, I think through Socket and CenturyLink, but doesn't have them now. You know, it's an unknown cost, we don't know what it is, so. And it's a county-wide thing too, right, Brian? It's not exclusive to the health department.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so there's like 3 different approaches I'm taking. The first is just get them a dedicated data connection, like we did with the sheriff's office. That would definitely resolve any bandwidth questions. The second thing is countywide, there's a network slowdown that's out at the remote locations. So much so that it's time to work. Like with the health department, it literally stops until they change screens for seconds. So anyway, with CenturyLink, you know, it doesn't just have to be CenturyLink, but with the vendor, you know, we could go through with a dedicated data connection route, or we could go through and take a look at the overall bandwidth that's allocated for the county and distribute more out to those different locations. But then, of course, then we would incur the additional cost that it takes to do that, to buy that additional bandwidth. So I've got a meeting scheduled this afternoon with the vendor, and then I've got a phone call scheduled for tomorrow too. So hopefully I'll have some of those numbers sooner rather than later. But it's really something that needs to be addressed countywide, not just for the health department in particular. I think if Larry Benz were here, he would probably vouch for that. And I think if Jerry were here, he would probably say that too. So, but it's pretty much related to the remote locations. Then I think we got about a year and a half left on our current, you know, contract under with CenturyLink too. So, I mean, this just, it could get bigger and bigger, but I can, you know, we could do something as a stopgap and just give them their own data connection. And I'd have to add some hardware too, but I just don't have those numbers together yet.
So the record system will or will not run on what we currently have?
It will run probably like the current one does. I really can't say yes or no because I don't know. If you talk to the vendor, they say if you get to the internet, it'll work, right?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. So, but he's never seen our bandwidth. So, like for instance, when I was talking to Don in the meeting the other day, it could be related to the age of that software, the CGM. But when I'm looking at bandwidth, I'm not looking at CGM. I'm looking at how it's performing overall in that department. And sometimes it's less than a meg. And that's just, it's terrible. It's worse than what was happening with the sheriff's office at times. So how we fixed that was we got them their own dedicated data network. But all those things add a lot of expense because you have to add hardware or different things like that. Whereas maybe if we went through CenturyLink, they could just turn up the volume, so to speak, on the data bandwidth, and it would be, you know, an easier thing. But until I have those conversations, I don't know the best direction to recommend or.
So if it doesn't run, then it goes back to the vendor. We get our money back because it doesn't run, and they said it would run.
In a perfect world, that's how it would be.
If that's gonna be in the contract, you have to have some kind of performance in there, and if it doesn't work, and they said it would work, what do smaller counties with more rural areas, I mean, how do they do it?
Yeah. So
They gotta have less than what we got, so it surely gotta work somehow.
well, you know, without getting into like the hierarchy of all the technology, it's.
Oh yeah, don't go there, cause that's
Yeah.
way over my head.
It depends on what's available in the area, you know, so like some of these smaller counties have like, you know, gig fiber. So I mean, it's like huge, it's like 10 times what we had here or something like that.
Some of the smaller counties still do paper charts. They
Yeah.
don't all do EHR, like Miller County.
Well, I'm sure some are,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like cavemen with their stuff. I mean, they have charcoal and some
So
bark,
we-
but,
Chalk.
Yeah, so we went through and
But-
looked to see, make sure it wasn't our gear or something that was causing the errors, and it's not. So it's truly a bandwidth allocation issue. And, I think, you know, by the time I get done with the vendors and things like that, I'll be able to give you some really, a really good answer on that. But the thing I don't wanna do is, I don't want to put a product in there thinking it's gonna solve their lag or their delays, when in reality, it may not. I mean, I just have to go through and make sure they've got the appropriate amount of bandwidth for what we're doing. And honestly, the whole county is, they're running off of something less than what most people have in their house for their whole department. They're running on less than 9 meg down. And that's the same way with each location. So,
poor people have poor ways, Brian.
I hear you. I'm just a messenger.
So, okay, then we wanna throw that to the side and wait till we get more information. And it's still a
That doesn't help
maybe.
with this.
So is it something we're gonna proceed with? Because there's, I think, kind of two different thoughts on that. So there's a few things that we would go back to the vendor and ask for, and like I said, they spent a lot of time and energy putting this together, so we don't need an answer today, but we just need some kind of indication if this is dead or if we're gonna further pursue it.
I'm fine with pursuing it, but I wanna know if it's gonna work. Cause on one hand, I'm hearing, well, they say if you have internet access, it will work. We may not have the fastest one in the state, and I really don't care about that. I think that having the records is gonna be the benefit. We can always work on the speed later on. No? Yeah, I know Brian's just smiling, 'cause
Yeah, to tell you, it's only as good as the foundation that it's built on, so you better, my recommendation is let them handle the bandwidth issue first, but that's just where I'm at.
And that, you said, would be like mid-July
Yeah.
timeframe?
That's what they say.
So we're
Well,
kind
yeah,
of,
so like, what we'll do is we'll go through and the engineers will come up with a proposal, and then I'll present it to you guys and see what you say. I mean, if you say no and you go with it, then that's your call. Like I said, though, if I've worked here 15 months, I've gotten calls on lag and slowness for like 13
Yeah, I
months.
could ask them if they could hold
It's
it
just
longer,
not,
but that's what they said.
what they
was
have right
true.
now is not working for them. It's working, but it's better than nothing, but just barely.
that's like working on a cold day, though. Sometimes you're gonna work slower, but you're still getting stuff done.
You know, I sent that to CenturyLink, I'm waiting on a response back.
I know that's probably too technical for them to understand, but,
Yeah, no, it's.
but slow is better than not at all, right?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah,
Maybe?
Well, the system is not, it's not just about slowness either, it's like the CGM is 2004 is when we got it, okay, so it's 14 years old. It's like it's like a glorified word processor, it's not a true EMR where we're doing lots of double charting, we're doing lots of things double because the system is not a true EMR, so to speak. It doesn't, the other ones you're gonna be more like clicking and a few typing, but now we're double charting a lot of things because it's more like a glorified word processor at this time.
And it freezes up, so we have to move from computer to computer when you're trying to work with a client. It's a little bit, it does make working harder.
It makes our services slow for the clients.
So if we're gonna try to address the bandwidth first, where does that put us on
Well, like I said,
purchasing this?
The bid is good till the end of June.
June.
And we
So-
could ask them to do it a little
Yeah.
further,
Okay?
you know, I don't know, but
So,
there's.
I would like to see how Brian's conversations go. Don't reject the bids, but just, wait a month or so and see how
Okay.
it progresses before we make a decision if the bid's good till the end of June.
So the discount, though, is not that much to worry about doing it by April
$1,700.
20th.
Right. Maybe they'll be running a summer sale. But I would not like to reject the bids. I would just like to sit on them a little while.
Okay.
I'm good with
That'd be
that.
my preference.
Yeah, see if they.
As long as Brian can get us extra bandwidth for free, we're good to go.
Miracle.
No pressure, Brian.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, you had an awful nice hat this morning. Okay, go ahead
No
now.
fluffy.
So where do we wanna go then with
Well, it's not
flooring, I
bad.
guess, is
Flooring,
next?
yeah.
We're pursuing, you know.
Yeah, so when are the painting numbers coming in?
A week
And
from
yeah, the-
Thursday, right?
Right, the meeting is the 16th, and then I think they're due the 22nd.
I mean, it really doesn't matter. I mean, if you have the electronic health records and the 200, I mean, it's all coming out of the same pot. So, I mean, your total, you're gonna spend what I've got here or somewhere close. I mean, but if you wanna do all the flooring, you got another $35,000 in here, and then we got the painting on top of that too. Wanna wait on the parking lot, you know, or we cut out some of these other things, but I mean, obviously the sign has to happen, and then there's, I thought there was other things that, yeah, miscellaneous things at the bottom too.
If you can live with that parking lot for maybe a couple years, I mean, you may have put some Band-Aids on it and,
I don't think it's gonna last. If we get one bad winter, it's gone. I mean, they come through there with the snowplow and you're gonna have a pile of asphalt at the end.
but that's a big ticket item
Yeah,
that can let us work through all this other stuff at this point. It's outside, so it doesn't
Right.
really disrupt anything on
Right.
the inside. I'd be fine with just bandaging it up, live with the parking lot the way it is. Let's get everything else moved in, get it done. We haven't got the painting pricing yet, but
Right.
I think we said we could live with certain areas on that as well.
When we got an idea back, and we're just waiting for the other bids to come in, and they're broken down more.
Yeah, I saw that idea. It was high.
35 to 45, somewhere in there.
For the interior, yeah. For the complete interior.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, once you get those dimensions.
so the direction then is to proceed with everything, wait on the parking lot, do all the flooring. Wanna do all the flooring?
Mhm.
I mean, that's still up to what, I mean, we can cut back there if we need to too. I don't have a problem with that. If
And
there's
then
some flooring that we
and-
can
and-
salvage and we don't have to change,
And then see where the painting's at.
if that floor's still gonna last 10 years or something, why tear it out and replace it? There's some of it obviously has to be replaced. I think the common areas would be definitely where we wanna do now.
Okay, so do all the common areas and then look at offices and other stuff.
Yeah, like Christie's office, I mean, I don't know if it needs to be done. Are you first pick of offices or?
So do hers last. See how we
Oh,
come
I'm
up
sure
with
she'd
money.
probably agree to that. She'd be fine with it, so
I'll just
take
rip it
care of
out and
everybody
deal with
else.
the concrete. I'll deal with it myself. There was one area, you guys, Chris, I pointed out to them that the environmental staff is gonna be over there, and it had fairly newer carpet squares. And, you know, we won't have clients over there, so not as much spillage or accidents, and it's really not that bad. So like Chris said, it's kinda like that whole wing, that carpet, you know, is tolerable. But Jennifer and I were talking, you know, I don't know if we would get, if Scruggs was giving, or the vendors were giving us a discount for the bulk, so if we start reducing the amount, is that gonna affect our cost? And I'm not sure how many square foot that little wing is and how much money it would take off. When we get there, floor plans, we can start calculating how much square footage that
It's
was.
got that on here, add deduct per square foot,
Oh, good, okay.
so,
I don't know at what point though, that was kind of at the
Right.
last minute, and I don't know at what point they quit getting the bulk pricing. I mean, we'll just have to check with them, but to do that, we'll need an idea of how many square feet we're talking about knocking off.
Okay,
well, I say we knock off whatever square foot we knock off at that price. We accept it. If they say, nope, we can't honor this price with those knockoffs, then we go to the next one and.
Another thing to point out, we're getting all new, Greg, what am I talking about at the bottom?
Underlayment.
Yeah, we're getting all new base along with the new flooring, and I was lost in there. So I don't know what it'll look like, but that's another point for consideration. That's not gonna match either. I don't know if they're closed with doors or just open, I don't know, but those are gonna be all changed along with this. So I don't know if that look goofy or not.
So, I thought you told me that we were getting all new base in places where there was vinyl base and
Right.
places
Right,
where
if
there's.
there's wood, we're keeping
There's
the
two
wood.
rooms where there's like a really tall wood base, the area we're gonna use as the training room, and then the conference room, and we are gonna leave that since.
Okay, and that may have to be-
Section A wood base. If it was
Right.
wood, it was
That may have to be painted, or is it stained, or is it?
It's stained.
Okay, so it's staying.
But the majority of it over there was the vinyl. right?
Yeah,
Vinyl mesh.
the short floor,
Yeah,
right?
4 inch, 3 inch.
So we need to take a look at the flooring. I mean, there are some other little things that need to be addressed too, that I don't have numbers for. Like all the trees in the front, we haven't taken any of that out. And there's a lot more trees than I thought.
So on the flooring too, they've expressed to me, they being the contractors, this is a pretty big job. And so they kind of need to know, ASAP so they can stop bidding on other stuff if they do get it. It just popped in my head. I thought I'd mention it.
Okay, so I saw something the other day that we were gonna close maybe June 1st.
That is their
Okay.
proposed date.
And so maybe, Greg, maybe you and I can get together after this and kind of look at, obviously, the heating and cooling won't take place in all the building, but maybe we could probably have,
Wires throughout.
or we could have multiple subs working in different
Yeah.
places,
Yeah.
so.
We get the HVAC in, get the lighting people in, get that knocked out, then we get the painting done, the flooring done. Well, we'll need to talk about security too, because while they're up in the attic,
Right,
once we get the cables pulled for where we're gonna go before we paint.
okay.
That way we're not.
All right, so we'll kind of work on a schedule here and kind of firm up some numbers, and then, because I'd like, I mean, are you dead set on no more than 200, or I'm just asking, because I mean, you know how things go.
That's why I said 200, because I was probably at like 170.
No, it's 20% off,
Yeah, 250.
So it's 40.
40%.
I was at about 40,000, now we're at 200, so. No, we knew it was gonna be a substantial amount.
We need at least, which product?
I would really like to stick as close to that 200 as possible. Because if, like, the collector came down and said, well, I need more money, we'd be all over him about it.
He's got money socks on. Come on.
Okay,
Well,
bad example.
I'd just like to get it, I'd just like to get it done, and then we can.
I would
move
just say
on
I'm treating us
to-
the same way I treat you.
To, you know.
Well, maybe not that nice.
Well, can we, on that carpet, the flooring, are you guys ready to do the project 1 and project 2 and move forward on those? Can we do each one of those separate if you want, or you want to look
Yeah.
at it as a whole?
How do you feel about ESB and the EMS dispatch? Because those were just, there was really no question of, it was the carpeted offices and then the vinyl common areas. And then also, if we're looking at other things with the project 2 at the health, we still probably need to determine who we're gonna work with, which product we're choosing.
If we made a decision on the flooring, we could go ahead and spend the 20.
And we could get the dimensions
And
for
we could
you
get the
to.
dimensions, and then I could submit the cost to WIC, because
Yeah, let's do that.
that needs to
We
be
need- yeah,
submitted
we-
to.
Okay, well, I think we can get, I think we're gonna spend at least 20,000 on the flooring.
Right.
So we can figure that out and get that submitted so that we can get reimbursed. Okay?
Okay.
Well, you guys good with that?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
We need a better.
So, I mean, the question isn't, we're gonna spend 20, is are we gonna spend 80 or are we gonna spend 50?
Right.
So. and
So
we got-
that 20 will come out of general, because that's where that 20 is. And the same thing, if we purchase part of the flooring for WIC, it most likely will run through general also, just because that's where the WIC funds come to.
Okay.
So it will have to flow out of there. So just keep that in mind. I mean, you're talking, if it's 80 right now and you're spending the $20,000 grant and maybe an additional 10 from WIC, somewhere in there. I mean, you're probably close to the number you were originally in your budget for, the 50.
So you're saying the 20 for the grant and the extra 10 for WIC, you're almost to the 84.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So why you have everything torn up if it's
Right.
more practical to do it all?
Well, the 200 was not included the 20 grant, so really that puts us at 220.
Just take it,
Or
Chris.
180.
So,
No.
well, however you want to do it. Whenever I first said 200, that's my number. That was before we even had the 20 in there, so Christie found some more money.
So the WIC
Able to
and
help
the
with it.
WIC and the grant are, yeah.
Figure out what.
Yes,
flooring-
what? He's got me down to 180.
Well,
No, 220.
No, he was at, no, he's at he's at 200 with the 20 grand.
This other
No, I added the
money,
20.
this other money is just.
Oh, you added the
I had
20.
you at 200, and then the grant came in kinda afterwards, so now you're at 220.
Okay, you're at 220.
Yeah, and he said 180.
Okay.
But I think he was at 220 before, so now you lost one of us. Okay, so it's clear.
Yeah, how
Here's
much
what
is
we're-
it?
and then
It's like an
here's-
auction.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, if you're talking about if it goes over to that 220.
Okay, so,
That's whatever we can get from WIC.
And then whatever she gets from WIC, see, is just found money.
And Brian's gonna get us additional bandwidth for free.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
all right, so I'll kind of revise my spreadsheet, take the 35 out for the EHR,
Yeah, right now.
and then we'll see where the painting comes in, but, so then I say we're okay to proceed probably with all the flooring, and then I'll still have the cushion to do some miscellaneous. Right?
And we're gonna hold off on the
I wonder if-
driveway. It's gonna probably have some cost in there to do a little touch up on it, or just leave it alone.
About the health department, yeah.
Might as well not even mess with it right now.
I wonder if WIC would push it.
Is that
Well, you
bad?
won't have to mill it if we get a good snow, because
Yeah, I go over
the
it.
snowplow will take care of it.
We'll try to put WIC parking only and see if they'll pay for that too.
We could have a WIC section.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
Well, now that you guys are
So-
willing to do the whole flooring project,
And that includes ESB and EMS, question mark?
I mean, I'm okay with redoing emergency services and the dispatch at EMS was terrible.
yeah,
Um,
that's,
Did you look?
I had 15 in capital from last year when we went through that, so I don't know if this is,
For ESB,
yeah.
it's less than that.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of coming all out of capital, but just
Yeah.
different.
And as far as product, to me, they all look about the same.
did you get that scratch out of the?
No,
It looks better, but it's still there.
Yes,
Yeah, it really depends what kind of warranty you want, 10-year or lifetime.
And that's the difference between the,
And then keep in mind, Beautiful Home Interiors, I sent you guys a very short and concise email about that. But these numbers reflect that, so if you're going with the base bid and you do choose to accept those revisions, Beautiful Home Interior was the low bid at $91,222. And then otherwise Scruggs was really close at $93,097. If you did want to go with the lifetime warranty product, you have to use it for all 3 buildings, okay? And then that total was the $97,500 for the lifetime warranty versus the 10-year. And then I got clarification from Scruggs yesterday that warranty, yeah, if the finish did all start coming off or something where it was a manufacturer defect that wasn't apparent until 15, 20 years down the road, they would pay for replacing that and the labor involved. But, I mean, if someone uses a brass key, for example, and scratches it, that's kind of on us.
looking at, metal chair legs and stuff like
Yeah.
that, so.
They did say that this was removable if you got a heater, a hair dryer, or something, that you could replace single plank since it's a glue down product. I don't know how practical that is, but if there was one that really got nasty, we could potentially get an extra box or 2 or whatever and have those.
So if
So-
you get a burr underneath of the chair and it scratches it, are they saying that that's not a manufacturer's defect?
That's not a manufacturer defect.
Normal wear and tear is not a, defect either.
Right.
Yeah, I sent you guys what she said. Basically, it was enhanced with quartz, I want to say, and it's supposed to be significantly more scratch resistant. I don't know. Did you scratch the other ones with a brass key? I don't know. Let's say, I mean,
like scratching with coins and you could rub it right off the
Yeah.
key. It was like.
I did take the coin and do the lifetime warranty, and I scratched them, and
And it just rubs.
yeah, it does. It rubs right off. So
What the key you did on the lifetime warranty ones?
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah. Oh, brass key.
We wanna think about this for a week or
30 seconds.
30 seconds?
And
Well,
Jennifer's like, I was trying to be here this next week.
we gotta get this done.
What are you doing?
This is probably potentially my
DJ,
last
like-
meeting. Yeah.
Debbie's probably like, oh, you're back.
the meeting lasts much longer, not even till the end of the meeting. So, I think she's telling us to get on the ball, let's go.
I mean, interpret it how you want, but.
Break it down. Whatever you guys.
Scrubs is only been lifetime, right?
Yeah, right,
We'll go to the restroom.
And there's really the cheaper than the other one.
right.
Like your money socks, Larry.
Having your nose out here.
Maybe do it like on the side.
She's gonna get one
Instead
thing
of
on
front.
because it's money.
So are we still gonna do all of it then? Or were you gonna take the,
Chris said all of it.
Where are you going?
yeah, I heard him say
We're
all
done
of
with
it, but
That's decided, Jeff.
I didn't hear Sam say, yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
You're saying all of it?
I'm saying all of it.
All right, guess
Do
I'm
it
not gonna
all.
argue that
Do
one.
it, then we don't have to.
Well, I didn't
We're
wanna pick
done.
on inspections area, you know, but if they had carpet they could work on.
But then when that shoots crabs trying to replace.
They shouldn't even be in there, but in the morning to get their paperwork and then leave and go inspect for us, so it's unused. Just to keep off the grass. As many emails as they get from me, I'm surprised they're ever
No,
at
I
the
didn't figure
office.
anything extra for those.
Um,
You didn't say two.
All right, so then we're doing it all. So what are you,
That would
which
be,
way,
that would be
you-
a Greg Camp thing, not a Jennifer Brigger.
which way are you going with it?
Motion to award.
Might give them more to pregnant ladies, though.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, just refer.
Go back to work.
Do what,
Yeah,
Debbie?
Just refer
They
to
got
bid
fine.
number. It would have all three in it.
Yeah.
Gotta make a decision.
What'd I miss?
Waiting on Sam?
Well, I meant to make sure we're still doing it all. He said he was for doing all of it,
Yeah.
cause thought the inspectors and stuff was gonna maybe hold off on, but he said do it all, so I'm not gonna argue that one. So which way are we going here with it then? You gonna award it? We got 30 more seconds, right?
That's right.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so which way you wanna award it? You wanna award it with the, how we spec'd it, or you wanna award it with the alternate?
I know, but my life is I agree.
Say what now?
Where have you been?
So,
We,
okay.
we have a standard spec for
Yeah.
flooring,
Yes.
20 mil vinyl flooring that everybody bid,
Yes.
okay? Beautiful Home Interiors was low
Yeah.
on that. Scruggs bid an alternate
Yeah.
for
Right.
lifetime warranty, and it's higher. But, I mean, we asked for alternates,
Yeah.
so, but lifetime warranty, just Greg put a scratch in it with a key, so go
That's
figure.
where I'm kinda concerned, cause I was leaning towards the lifetime warranty. I thought it made sense.
Well, but I mean, so, yeah, quarter's one thing, okay? Obviously, you're moving desks, you got chairs, you got maybe exam tables, you got a lot of different things that
We're
could,
gonna scratch them.
well, good.
So, right, so Jennifer's just pointing out, like, the emergency services building, if you do, do you want plank throughout, or do you want carpet? 'Cause
He doesn't
that's a
have the
little bit-
option.
Oh, okay.
Theirs is just the carpet in the offices and then the plank in the training room and the restrooms, and that small receiving area in the front. Yours
So
had the
you're looking at A,
option.
F, and G.
And then what was dispatch?
EMS dispatch
A.
carpet.
Carpet.
It's just carpet.
And G.
Not A, it's a alternate, it's B.
B's alternate.
Yeah.
So you're not getting, oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's B, F, and G, it's that 97.
Didn't that new health building have some of this vinyl plank and some in places?
Maybe got some there in the,
Some of it looked good, some of it didn't.
Yeah.
yeah, and this.
Like the break room, it didn't look bad. We could move it. But in the front desk area, it was like patched together, so.
Yeah, there's
it'd be
like
nice.
two different colors or one was
three
old.
different shades, and
Yeah.
then My biggest fear when they pull all the dentist stuff out, how
I know.
bad is that floor gonna be? That's part of the plank floor too.
But that was included, cause we talked to the contractors about that we didn't know what was gonna be under that when they pulled it out.
Where's that?
Over
in
the
the
dentist
ditch.
side where the murals were at on the wall,
Oh,
that's planking floor out through that, when they start pulling the dentist chairs out.
So Greg, what do you think of the difference between the 10-year and the lifetime?
I mean, is there, how are we gonna clean it? Do we wax it? Do we do anything to it? Nothing?
Doesn't have to be-
Most times I just take a dust mop to them, that's what I run with, spray and dust mop.
Something else about the lifetime that I had noticed whenever you were talking about slip resistance, it was ADA compliant. The other ones were still acceptable and good, but it's a little more textured.
Same thing.
So and you're gonna have a lot of clients, because what are you doing, 1,700 wick a month?
Yeah, and say
A
when
month,
USDA
and then
came
5
in,
or
The
600.
.5, Scruggs was the
When
USDA
.65.
came in, they
And the
checked
alternate
for
was
all
ADA.
ADA compliance, and we got dinged on our front door.
Okay.
So that's very important to the state and the federal government.
And I don't know if that matters a hill of beans. I'm
So you
just saying
say one
that's
of
what it
these is
said on there.
ADA compliant?
The lifetime warranty said ADA, the Beautiful Home Interiors was .5, and then the Scruggs base was .65. What that means, I can't tell you, but the other one said ADA.
Either one, that's 85,
So they're all ADA compliant?
I'm trying to see if.
This is the all of the lifetime in this book.
Alright.
They are.
Lifetime and the other one.
No, that's just the
This
lifetime,
is all
unless it says
lifetime.
2 products listed on the back.
One's 12 and one's 20.
Shaw Terrain. But that's not, the other one was Shaw Terrain.
But you have so many people going through your building in a day, in a month, it's even.
Neither one of these say anything about ADA.
Yeah, the one's .5 and the other one's .65. Again, I can't tell you what that means, but that's what it says.
Just that's a slip resistance factor or
Yeah, I just
something?
don't know. I know that the .5 was an acceptable range, you know what I mean? And then it just gets a little better, obviously, as you go on.
What's the range on the lifetime warranty, does it say?
It just says ADA.
Compliant.
It doesn't have a number associated with it.
So it could actually be the same.
I would think they would say it if they were.
Yeah.
That's a
Could
big
be.
It
sell.
could be, I mean, you can,
I would think they would say it just
yeah.
because it's a big seller.
Tuxedo shop.
Sam's,
I think we let Sam decide.
that sounds,
Well, I would have gone for the lifetime until Greg took the key to it.
That's gonna do all those products.
I was gonna say, it's
Yeah,
gonna do
I-
the same thing on all of them.
Yeah.
God, it was actually.
I would almost lean to the
Yeah,
Show them what you did on that
I
one.
would say, does anyone have a coin? Because
Look
the
at that one.
coins.
We did,
yeah.
I gave you my quarter, did you
I
get it
didn't
back?
have I didn't have it.
Worse.
Who'd you
Yeah,
give
because
it
that
to?
one you can feel it, this one you can't feel it.
It's actually worse on these. Or
We'll take Bill's, it's closer.
I scratched this one.
Yes.
Save those
Keep
snips.
setting them
Yeah,
there.
save those snips. You can't even see it.
What's your recommendation, Greg, Christie?
Right now, just do the scratch test. I'm probably leaning towards the lifetime. Because this one here, you can actually feel
Key mark.
the key mark worse than you can that one.
I like this lifetime, well, because it's lifetime door, but it also has some texture to it, so I think it's gonna be less slick when we have spills, or it's raining, or it's snowing, or whatever, because You know, people track this stuff in their shoes, so having a little texture to it, and ADA compliant is important, because,
Yeah.
like I said, USDA and Department of Health and Senior Services look for that stuff. And I mean, if it was like a whole bunch more expensive, but it's not.
So when we put the alternate,
You know, we are here, fly around that.
did we specify what it needs to be, or they just have opportunity to?
I just
throw
said,
something
hey,
at
we
us?
did this 20 mil commercial grade plank. If you have something that you think would be a better fit, or, you know, whatever, feel free to put that out there. And
Okay.
Scruggs is the only one that decided to do that, and it was with the lifetime warranty,
Okay.
with the slightly superior supposedly.
Cause I kinda wish we would've sat down, and looked at it and said we want this, and then this as an alternate, and give everybody a shot at the alternate, but if that's the way we did it.
We got a quarter to take off of that. I'd go with a lifetime.
Lifetime. Is that one? Do I hear two?
That's where I was leaning.
Liz, like, come on.
Where were you leaning, Chris? I was leaning towards the lifetime, that's why I was making sure. Y'all over there
That's
scratching
why
it,
we were
made me
asking
nervous.
you.
Well, let's scratch it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd
I
take
know.
their recommendation probably and go that route.
I like the extra texture on there too, it's more scratch resistant, there's nothing that's gonna be scratch proof, but
That'd be a big thing in the training room, moving tables and chairs around, so we do. That would probably scratch it better.
you can get some little felt bumpers and put them underneath the chairs, seriously.
Sure.
We'll just
So.
put tennis.
They've got rubber.
Tennis ball.
I've seen that.
We're in high school.
It kinda looks like a wellness type thing too, you know?
Tennis balls might be cheaper.
It might be. Especially if you go get them from the their Elias tennis team, they've got some old ones that they'll give you.
Health department's gonna be hanging out there over the fence, that's mine.
Wellness.
As well as pick them up.
All right, we're digressing. I'm fine with going with the lifetime, and do we wanna go ahead and award it today?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we need to award it and let Scruggs know,
And see
kinda
if
our
they can
thoughts.
send us the invoice. So I can,
Okay.
For
Yeah.
material, I think, for sure.
Man, we're about worse than working with a church.
Yeah.
Trying to get some decisions made. Sam, if you would've just made up your mind, it could've been done.
Probably need it quicker.
Oh, yeah, especially if there's a baptism.
Is this all broken out on I mean, obviously they measured it all up, but is it square foot amount, or is there any square footage in here, or?
they,
What?
I mean, it's just all or none?
They all measure.
For the,
They came out and measured every room.
yeah,
and that's what I wanna get from them. Here,
well, that's what we were doing.
yeah, this doesn't have anything.
No, I mean, they should have it all, and I'll call. We just weren't sure who to call, you know, afterwards. But yeah, they came out and actually a couple occasions at least. So they should have everything.
The only thing is on the vinyl plank alternate, there's no cost for add or deduct on the square footage.
And I'm not sure why,
Okay.
but yeah, that's the way it came back. I could ask.
I guess it'd just be good to know what it's based on, and, I mean, in case something comes up or something and we need to add or deduct some, or, based on, you know.
And I think she said, I know she had trouble with the other two, just because I think a lot of it depends on what's underneath it. You know, so they could do a material basis pretty easily, but as far as installed, I think that was kind of tricky for them to come up with.
So so obviously, you know, if something happens and they gotta fix the subfloor or put some type of something down.
That's all, we talked about that, that's all included, that's all
All
in there.
included, okay.
Because we told them that, especially in that Dillon area, we didn't know what it was
Our
gonna be
training,
like
you can
underneath.
imagine that floor been down in 1986, how hard it's gonna be to get it up.
And then the other thing, I mean, I would think it'd be good to have a couple extra boxes to
Yeah.
I
kinda
do too.
hang on to, so.
We'll make sure we do
Oh,
the
then,
EMS office the same as we do ours, that way we'll have.
oh, that was just health department has +6 extra boxes.
Health department does,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
Okay.
yeah.
plus 6.
Yeah.
That was with the carpet though, the carpet squares.
Oh.
We
no.
didn't get extra, but I don't think we realized until later in the game that that was something we could heat up and
Heat
remove.
up, yeah, so,
I wouldn't know how much, Greg, what do you think box wise would be?
I'd do at least a box for EMS, and that would take care of both sides as well. I think there's 21 pieces to a box.
Box on each floor.
Okay, well, we can figure that out later.
Yeah.
yeah, well, let's,
So I move that we award the flooring replacement to Scruggs with the alternate product, lifetime warranty.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff, did you wanna
and
go
we got
look
the
at
electronic health
Like when
record.
they do the paint,
Let's put that on hold.
Yep.
did you see that?
Hang on a second.
We talked about.
Pre-bid thing is,
Next Monday at like 4:30. I didn't know if you wanted to use that opportunity to look at that kitchen area,
And
so
that
we
one-
could get, I would like to get a quote to the Cosmo Club soon,
Yeah.
in case they have to submit it to their national organization.
what's that pre-construction bid that you submitted, Greg? I got some kind of email,
Carpet
so that's not it.
Pre-construction wall for the Carnegie Building in jail. Just to go with the contractor to meet with, so they meet with Wheeler and Aaron and talk
Okay.
about parking, where they're gonna start, where they're gonna be at.
So I saw the other email about your pre-bid stuff. When was that?
It's Monday at 4:30, right?
Yeah, 4:30 to
Yeah.
16th.
16th?
Yeah, and if that doesn't work, I can arrange a different time.
No, I got it on calendar. I was just
Okay.
looking at the wrong date, I'm sorry.
I'll just meet you there and we can,
I'll
I can
plan to
show
be
you the
there.
kitchen area.
I'm not making any promises though.
So is that,
I'm getting old,
pre-bid at
forgetful.
Carnegie and the sheriff, is that just for,
It's not really a pre-bid, pre-construction.
okay. But that's, restoration stuff?
Yeah.
Only?
Yeah.
No roof or anything? Okay.
Just we're gonna talk, see where they're gonna start. That way Wheeler can meet the foremans.
Okay. When are the roofers starting?
They are trying to start next week too.
Okay.
Should I send out a
But this
notice?
week, you're not
Parking.
talking, right?
There's my computers. I'll send out a notice then about the parking.
Mhm.
Got your grandma done.
Can we tour from the front and
Okay.
Okay, we got
Accounts
any,
payable,
yeah,
I'd ask for approval of accounts payable pending review.
so moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Signing of the soil and water agreement for 2018.
The annual agreement, soil and water, it's here somewhere. Yep, it's for $5,000. It's in the budget for you.
Questions?
I
Good.
already got a copy of it.
I move that we sign the court order for the agreement with the Soil and Water District.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Courthouse complex sidewalk and drive repair.
I think we're pushing that for tomorrow, what,
Well, you all need to decide what you want to do.
okay,
I can't do up an agreement until I know,
right,
so it would be off the bid list.
okay, that's fine. So anyway, we got, bid items from, from the city based on, the work being done outside. And the contractor has agreed to hold unit prices for that work. And so, we've kind of measured that up and worked that out. And, so anyway, I'll have some numbers that I can share with you later today or whatever, but as long as we hold those unit prices, I think we can go ahead and issue a contract from the county with Sam Gaines Construction.
Yeah, then we're just paying Sam, right?
Right.
Okay.
I'm just giving you the specifics, Chris.
Okay. I mean, no, you didn't vote for that, Jeff, but are you okay with that?
Yeah, we're gonna get the scope of work and then just get the contract together, is what you're
Right.
saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, just get together and, I mean, we gotta have that.
right. So,
You're gonna sign it tomorrow.
Whether I voted for it or not, we gotta have that to
right.
pay for the funds, so, yeah.
So I'll put all that together and then we can issue a contract tomorrow, and he's already done some of the work.
I noticed.
Yeah, they're-
I'm gonna
So,
Wait, I think we should put our initials.
send him a
all
thank you
on this.
card.
yeah.
All right.
So, okay,
Sam Bushman Memorial Sidewalk piece.
yeah.
Put our initial in a year. 100 years from now, they'll go,
Won't be able to recognize
who the
it.
heck's Sam and Fluffy?
Sam and Fluffy.
Sounds like Trump and what's her name? You wanna tell us a story?
No, but they're selfies.
I'm leaving it alone right now. This
All
got
right.
nowhere to go but back.
Let's move on. I'll get you that stuff later
County
today.
Treasurer
Good
to
deal.
discuss investing options. Eric, come on up front, we can back to some.
They're so long, my leg went to sleep.
What are you saying there? We got her yawning over here, his legs falling asleep. What's going on? Eric's, all right, so
Let's-
we almost
let's
got
do-
away from him.
Let's do this in order. This is kind of a summary. The last time we came before you guys, we agreed 5 million. One has already matured. The short term, there at the bottom for 2 million par value. That was returned to our account with about 2,300. And interest, U.S. Treasury bill. So that leaves us with the top three, the longer term that we talked about, the year and a half, and 2-year ladder portfolio of U.S. Treasuries, which worth pointing out there, the market value actually on all three is a little less than what we purchased. And it may go down, it may go up. The market value really is of no concern to us because we're going to keep these to maturity, which means we get our original purchase price back, plus our interest, plus the discount with which we purchased the Treasury. So if any of you notice the market value is lower than what we paid for it, don't worry. At the end of a year and a half, and 2 years, those will all be returned with interest. And the market value at that time may actually, conceivably, it could be even be worth less the day that that matures. All three of those, will, as they mature, market value could actually be worth less than what we get returned in principal and the interest we would have accrued through that time. Does that make sense to you all? That, if we were to sell it, let's say the day before it matures, $1 million security may only be worth $995,000, but we're not going to go out to the market to sell it. It's going to mature, and we'll get our principal back along with our the yield. So that's not anything to worry about. I don't know if you all had noticed that the market value was going to be lower. This is something I should have handed out to you all last time. This is a central bank monthly interest statement that we receive. And it goes through those this would have been helpful in our discussion last time. On the very front page, it shows the 3 different tiers with our depository agreement we have with Central Bank, how interest is to be allocated on the demand deposits that we have in the bank. The first past T-bill says plus 16 basis points, so that's going to be the 3-month Treasury, which right now is about 1.68, I think. You're going to get that plus 16 basis points on the first 30 million in deposits. Then the next column over will show you your deposits from 30 to 34 million is going to earn that same 3-month Treasury bill rate minus 15 basis points. And then finally, what's been the focus of our investing discussions with you all is this third column, which shows anything over $34 million earns just 0.25. And so the next 2.5 pages show you what the average daily balance is from all of our different accounts that we have. And scooting on over to the middle of page 3, that shows how much money is in each of those tranches, in each of those tiers. So for example, the 16 basis point column is 30 million, because that's, we've fully filled that bucket. Same with the 4 million, 30 to 34 million. It's this third column that only earns the 0.25 central bank rate, also called the repo rate. It has a couple of different names, but that column should be zeros. If we're maximizing our investment, we don't want money sitting in demand deposits only earning 0.25 when we can go out on the market and get, 0.6 to, well, right now the 30-day note is probably
1.7.
Is that right? Yeah, so it's 1.7. I think our yield was 1.47. Now it's all the way up. Just in 30 days, it's gone up to 1.68 or 1.7. But whatever it is, it beats 0.25 all month long. Do you want to hand this one out and walk them through the balances? So what we're here today about, besides giving you a summary of what we did 30 days ago, is to reinvest that $2 million short-term 30-day note that has matured, and also ask for $1 to $2 million in additional funds, which we think can easily be managed out of our fund balances in different accounts, which Mark passed out to you. And still accommodate the, the health department purchase and any other major capital project you guys may have coming in the next 30 to 60 to 90 days. Go ahead. Did you want to show them what?
If I hand it out, just
tell them what it is.
Well, for example, general revenue. Now, if you look on BS&A, the $2 million, that investment that matured, the journal entry hasn't been made for that yet. So right now, if you look at BS&A, it's only going to say general revenue has like 7.7 million, but that 2 million is there. So right now, just in cash, in general revenue, there's 9.7 million. So if the health department payment comes up in the next 30 days, that's what, $1.5 million? That's what it's budgeted for. You still got over 8 million in the bank in general revenue to pay bills. So why not take 2 to 3 million out of there, invest it in another 30 days? As of today, the total cash in the bank is, for all the county's accounts, is 38.6 million. So as of today, we're about 4.5 million sitting there, only earning, today it will only earn 0.25%.
And as I
can put that in, 1.6 to 1.7%, for every $1 million, I just did a calculation, that's at 0.25%, we are losing about $37 a day on that, just in interest, by having it sit in at 0.25% versus in putting it in a 30-day treasury.
And, it doesn't, we're not talking about having it come out of just general revenue. I think, ideally what we would be doing is talking with Debbie and Kristen on a regular basis and having the $2 million that just matured in short-term security, and maybe an additional 1 to 2 million, so that we can get, to 34 million, get down to 34 million. Talk with them on a regular basis and have us put that 2 to 4 million in 30, 60, or 90-day investments, and just have that be something, we coordinate with them on a regular basis. You all have any questions?
No, I mean, I agree with you. I think we need to maximize our investment here.
Well, and
I know.
we think we've hit that with this 34 million. I think, well, I can't think of a capital project you all would have coming. I know, Sam, you and I have talked, and you've mentioned it here in these meetings. You know, everything from, you know, unexpected plumbing problems in the courthouse, or a new roof on the Carnegie building, or the purchase of the health department building, or the, you know, whatever's going to happen to the old jail. I think all of those can still be talked about. Checks can still be written. Business can go on as usual, even though our deposits total in demand deposits, checking account, 34 million. We have right now 38.6 million in the bank. And ideally, of course, 2 million of that is the 2 million that matured and was returned to the bank accounts. But, or wait, that doesn't include, does it?
No, it does. It includes that 2 million.
It does include, or
it does not include the 3
million
in
long-term
the
investments, right? So we think you can, you know, take care of any capital improvements any capital projects. If we're only out 30 or 60 or 90 days, there's no reason to draw the demand deposits down to 34 and redirect that into short-term treasury. And, you know, coordinating it with the auditor and the finance officer, I would think that it would be something routinely that we could all do and maximize our investment dollars at the bank. So
the thing to remember about the 38 million that he's talking about is there are accounts that are under our umbrella that you guys do not have the authority to invest. So the circuit clerk's money, the sheriff's department sequestration account, there are a bunch of accounts included in that 38 million that you do not have the authority to invest.
That's
How much
about
do we have?
1.3 million, though. That's about all we're talking about.
yeah, I'm not. I just threw the 38.6 to
But
be
that's
clear.
total.
Yeah.
That's the total that we're earning interest on.
Okay, so what do we have there that we can invest in? Do we have the 2 to 3 million that they're talking about additional 30-day?
Well, we could do
investment?
that for 30 days and still have it in time to
Yes.
for the closing on the health department, which to me, you know, if we can make money on that, then I don't have any problem with that. I think that's wise.
Can I throw this out? Of the 38.6 million in the bank today, the fund balances of those accounts that are all over $1 million, that adds up to 35.4. So roughly 3 million of that cash is probably in accounts that we, you know, just need to sit in the bank. We can't, you know, no reason to invest from any of those. But again, that's only 3 million that we.
Mark,
We
yeah.
have no investment authority, that we should, you know,
Yeah.
that other offices control, so.
Here's an example Mark and I talk about in our office. If you look at law enforcement, I think he just passed out to you, 8.1 million. Are we gonna need, I mean, how much of that are we gonna need in the next 30, 60, 90 days? And that's one of several funds that we could easily grab some money from, put into a short-term U.S. Treasury through central bank investment through their trading desk, and have it back out in 30, 60, or 90 days, and avoid earning only 0.25, and instead get the market, which is 1.7 today. 1.7 beats 0.25 all year long. We could pull 500,000 from a couple of these accounts without jeopardizing any budgeting decisions you all made back in January. We're not trying to tell Debbie or Kristen or you all, you know, how money should be spent or what's coming on board and needs a check written. That's not our business, that's your all's business. But we understand that looking at these balances going back literally years, all the way back to when, I mean, I remember when I was a county commissioner, and these balances, even though some of them are earmarked and are appropriated, There's always excess in some of these funds that could easily get us down to get us down to 34 million and let us use that excess cash in short-term treasuries. It's a pretty simple argument, and look, we could make no decision today, and in three months or 6 months, we could come back here and we can show you what those balances were for those 3 or 6 or 9 months, and it always stays about the same. Pulling $500,000 or $1 million out of several of these easily gets us down to 34 without impeding your all's ability to spend money appropriately. So,
This grand total from the bank is 36 million, and then they broke it down by 34 million and the other three.
Mm-hmm.
That three that we're at 0.25, we currently do have invested somewhere else, in my mind.
Right.
Right, so that's in there, right?
no,
No.
no, it's not.
It's not. That
That
3
money
million
in
is
there?
totally
It's not
out
in
of that
there. Right.
number.
Right.
Yep. The 3 million in long-term is no longer in cash. It's not.
Good
It's not
question.
in, it's not in the 36 million? Is that what you said?
Yeah, this.
It's not in
both
the
of
36,820,000?
This doesn't include it either.
That's what they told
No,
me.
right, it does not.
Both of these documents we handed you does not include the 3 million we all agreed 30 days ago would be in long-term. Those are long-term treasury, so they're not part of this.
Well,
Which
they were
I,
both dated in March, so I couldn't tell if they were in there or not.
Right,
because
right.
We purchased them in March.
Right.
And this is a statement
Yeah.
from March.
right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, look at
think
that
it
grand total
drew-
column. We started March with 40 million. Then went down, then when we bought those investments, it went down to 36 million. So,
Show that to me, which column?
On page 3.
grand total. Look how
so
we
that-
started with 40 million.
Yeah, okay.
What's the courthouse bill?
15%. Yeah,
So
the,
actually,
It's not in this
Yeah.
capital.
the answer is yes, it does include
No.
it for the first day.
Yeah.
no,
Right, okay.
it's two different
Yeah.
funds.
Sorry about
It's
that.
two different cash balances in BSNA, so. So in capital improvements, we got a total
You
of
just separated them
6.7.
out. It's one fund, but it's two
Okay,
cash
okay,
funds.
when I
That's-
print
yeah.
out the bank rec,
Yeah.
it shows them separate,
Yeah.
that's what I was pulling from.
So I guess if you all are of the mind is, to make a motion to allow my office to work with the auditor's office and the finance officer to coordinate keeping the balances down around 34. And, we'll obviously defer to what they consider, timeliness to make sure that we, instead of coming here every 30 days and having the same discussion, if they're in agreement, which I've not talked with them before, so I'm not sure if they're in agreement, but just as a point of discussion to say, let's all just work together, coordinate keeping the balances around 34. Maybe on a generous day, they'll let us go out 90 days. Maybe they feel more comfortable with 30 days. But I think between the four of us, we can probably take this excess cash, put it into short-term treasuries, and maximize our investments.
So I'm good with trying to maximize our investments and our return. But I'm kind of conscious of what's being spent out of some of those funds too. Not just health, but law enforcement, capital, our portion of capital, and then we've got about $4 million in public works projects going right now. And so, and
Are
that's
those gonna be spent in the next 30 days?
probably not all of it. No. So,
I mean, you get an invoice, you got a period of time you have to pay.
Well, I
right?
think as we get more comfortable, I think, yeah, we can.
yeah, I
Maybe
see
put
what
it
you're
that
saying.
way.
I mean, yeah, we're not
Yeah.
gonna spend $4 million in the next
We're
30
not
days.
asking for another year, 1
Right.
year, 2-year investments. We're asking for most likely 30 days. And really, in the last 30 days, the rates have gone up, so, and if rates are continue to go up, we might be best to just do 30 days, because in 30 days, the rates might be up again.
So Chris, your point is well taken, and that's why we would defer to the auditor and the finance officer to
And the
help guide.
investment committee.
Excuse me, yeah.
Well, but, so I say that, but I also look at what we're bringing in sales tax every month too. So
Right.
we got $1.5 million that we're bringing in over 3 funds every month. And so that's coming in, money is going out, but where's that offset? I mean,
Well, I think the key point is the 34 million, so if you guys are okay with anything over that. And the 2 million for 30 to 60 days, I don't think is, especially since this other 3 is out
Yeah.
here at the beginning of March.
so what are we asking for? What are we, I mean, are we looking to do another 3 million short-term, 2 million short-term?
2 to 3 million.
3 to 4. We
3 to
got
4?
38 million. We gotta take, if we take 4 million out today, we barely got it down to 34
And if you
million.
only take out 2 or 3, then that leaves another million sitting in there earning .25. I mean, if that's what you all want to do with your cash, I guess that's
Right.
your prerogative, but we would hope that you all could see with the fund balances and the capital projects you all have coming online, that we can easily squeeze out 4 million today in short-term 30-day note, 30-day treasury, and then have us, if we want this to be part of today's discussion and decision, is let us coordinate with the auditor and finance officer, instead of doing this every 30 days, coming to you all. But if you all want to, do it, have a meeting like this in 30 days, we're happy to come and make another presentation. And but I think it comes down with the other committee members, the auditor and the finance officer, if they're comfortable with working with us on the excess cash on short-term notes, I see that as the smart and most efficient way to keep this process going. So, 30 days ago was great. It was a great development. We all pulled together, put the money long-term, put some of it short-term. Here we are 30 days later. We can see now we have a clearer picture. Central Bank delivered for us, obviously, and we got our money back. That's always good. But it's clear now, what the landscape is. Landscape is every time that short-term note matures, we need to come and talk to somebody and make sure it's okay to invest it, to reinvest it. Hence my push to work with the other 2 offices and just do this dance with them.
So on this, this last sheet that you gave us, as of 4/10/18, GR had 9.7 and law enforcement had 8.1. Is that after the 3 million is out?
After the 3 million is out, yes.
I can't tell you that I've looked at cash to know that these are accurate, but I'm assuming that they are.
If BS&A is accurate, then this is
You
accurate.
took them off there this morning.
And I reconcile to the bank daily, so I'm 99.9% sure these numbers are accurate. Or 100, I'll say 100%.
I was about to say you ought to. What are you hedging?
I definitely think that the 2 million out of general fund can go back in for another 30 days. You wanna do more than that?
Why don't we do 3 million and just, we're kind of still feeling our way.
Right, we
And
understand
then
that.
as we get more comfortable with it.
My recommendation would be if you wanna do 3 million, do the other million out of law enforcement
Okay.
for 30 days.
Yeah, John won't miss it. Oh, thank you, John.
Well, when you bring that up, where does that interest go? Does that go back to general, or does that
Yeah.
go back to law enforcement
Oh.
since
It
it
goes
was
back
their
to
money?
Law enforcement.
So wherever you took it from, it'll go back into the same fund that you took the money originally.
Okay.
So we're making more money for the sheriff.
I was hoping we were making more money off of him, but
Don't worry about it.
we're trying to get you more
It's a
money.
great deal, John. It's a great deal.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
All right, so what did you say, Sam? What are you proposing?
I'm proposing $3 million in 30 days.
So we got 3 million in long-term already. We were doing the million in the short term.
2 million.
2 million.
2 million.
That matured.
You're saying go to 3 million?
3 million.
Or you're
for
saying
30
go to
days.
5 million?
Go to 3 million,
It'd be 6 of
which will be 6 total.
And in 30 days, we'll
So
have,
when you all were asking for the 3 to 4, that
Pardon me?
was overall, you were talking about 3 to 4. You
we
were
wanted
talking about
anything over
overall.
34 million to be put to work instead of, so. And I think this 3.
As of today, it's 4 million.
4 would.
4.5
4,
million,
yeah.
actually, is in the bank,
Okay.
over.
We'd prefer 4.
Let's do 3 just to get comfortable.
Okay.
32 out of GL and 1 out of LH.
I mean, I don't care if we go 4. I mean, I don't think, why not? If you're not comfortable doing 4, just tell me why you're not, and but why wouldn't we maximize our investment, like they said?
That's
If
what
I'm-
we're,
if I don't-
that's what we're wondering. We're wondering the same.
I'll take another $1 million out of the law enforcement fund.
I mean, it's no different than being home, you know, I got discretionary income sitting there, or I can invest it, and, you know, it kinda depends on what you call discretionary. I mean, if I got some baseball tickets coming up, that's fine. I mean, you're gonna want to get your hair and nails done. I mean, that's not discretionary to me, I'd be investing that, but, I mean, we got this money sitting there, that's what it is, it's discretionary money. So why wouldn't you invest it, unless you're planning on going to buy something with it? Like the health department, which we know that's in June or whenever.
So a 4 million short term would bring the balance to.
I'm okay with 4, man. I haven't heard from Chris yet.
34
Sam
million.
said 3. Make sure
That's the way
Debbie
you're
and,
comfortable with.
I mean, you got money going out, you got money coming in, and then you got money just sitting there, so, that you're making nothing on.
Does it encumber the money?
Well, yeah, but
For 30
For
days.
how long?
30 days.
you
You
ain't,
can
you
either-
ain't spending $9 million in 30 days.
Don't challenge him.
Did
you see it? Did you see it? Because it sounds like a challenge to me.
I'm
And
out
it's
of,
your
I'm out of the
interest.
country.
I think as long as you stick to that 30 days so that we can review it at the end of 30 days and make sure that there isn't something that we're missing or something that's coming due that we're not thinking about. I think as long as you're reviewing it in that short-term time frame, I think you're okay to do the 4, but.
To the court.
I say
Good.
try just 30,
Yeah.
it's 30 days.
Yeah,
Okay.
We come back, say, well,
Okay.
it's not really panning out for whatever reason. Let's back off of it a little bit, or if the reserves get dug into too deep and we wanna have more of it out there in cash reserve, then
So do we need any formal motion to do that today, or?
Well, to be consistent with what you all did 30 days ago, it probably should be in the form of a motion, I think.
I think it's just 4 million in short-term.
Okay. I move that we invest in $4 million in short-term treasury for 30 days.
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
We'll be back in a month.
Thanks.
Oh,
Because what?
Do we have anything else before we go into closed session?
Nothing?
Um, We had some emails going back and forth, and I know Lynn got one of them about a page missing from the
Assessment fund.
assessment fund that was never signed. So that's why there's not a signed sheet, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're waiting for some changes to, so,
I think we can talk to Chris tomorrow too.
okay, as I say, does he know that it's not signed, or?
There wasn't anything for us to sign.
I have nothing in
the Is.
minutes for, since he said.
No,
he
we
sent
said
it.
we weren't gonna sign it because there was something in it that we weren't gonna sign on the assessment sheet about employees and raises or something, so that's why we didn't sign it.
I think it's the cover letter that comes on the plan, had some discussion about raises and increase in the number of employees in his office that are not in his budget, so we didn't want to.
The plan plan summary.
Right, we
Okay.
didn't want to sign a plan summary that is not included in our budget plan.
They're going to assist him in redoing this.
Yeah, I thought I saw your email said that they're working on it, but I mean, I guess he knows what and why, right?
I don't know. I'm gonna answer that. It's Kristen's job to tell it.
I'll sign it.
Well, when it originally came up here, I mean, wasn't that an open session? So didn't we send it back and say we're not signing it this way?
He never brought it here. He emailed it to me at the last day of the year.
Oh,
Or whenever, the very last day it was due.
okay.
September.
Our reimbursement is still going on, though. They're good with that. Found a way to do that.
He needs to come here and present.
So I guess if he's listening, he knows now, or? I would have guessed that he knew we weren't signing it or something. That's why I was kinda surprised, probably as he was, that we still didn't have anything signed. So,
I bring it in here.
I will just wait to get the letter, I guess, from State Tax Commission or from Chris. All right.
Hey, Bill, what was the height on that ham radio tower that you sent us?
60 foot.
60 foot.
And with the questions that the commission, I just assume if you want, we can bring them up where they can explain more, about what it is they're doing. I think it's a good thing. I just talked to Sheriff Wheeler, they put the ham systems over on top of their building. This is just a repeater tower. So basically what I understand is they have one in Hope Summit. The gentleman is very elderly, and I think it's been there for years. They're more afraid if something happens to him, the family will make them take it down. So this would be, put it up here, it's gonna be more stable. It's gonna be on a metal tower instead of a telephone pole out in the middle of the field. And it's gonna help all the amateur radio operators in this area be able to boost up their power, especially in a large disaster that's going to communications. Like the Joplin incident, they ran all the communications until, for example, we get our truck down there and put communication in their city hall. So I think it's a great asset for the county to do that. I just want to know if you have any questions. I'll bring the professionals in, but I'm not an IT person on that. But it's on the backside where that concrete pad and the old stairway coming down out of the old Windmill, right next to that, where there's nothing actually there at all, and it's still be on our property.
As long as it's not in the way and not encroaching on anything else, we got guy wires in the way, I don't
No guy
think
wires.
there's anything, I don't think there's anything
Yeah, and it's
wrong
all
with it
pretty
at
thin.
all.
It's what shows 6 foot deep concrete, so there's no guide wires whatsoever.
Just, I mean, it's a day-to-day agreement, I guess. If for some reason we need to have it moved, we
They
can
have,
get with them.
They cover the insurance, installation, everything on that.
Yeah, I like
Love
that.
it. Nothing against the county as far as the expense.
It's got some kind of a ground or something for
Big
electrical.
grounded in there, the panels
Strike.
would go right inside the old ambulance down that lower part underneath that transom. There's a wall right there, we put their control unit on. They're also gonna put, I've had a brand new amateur radio system, probably 4 years, and no one installed it. They're gonna install that in our building. So we would have that there in any emergencies as well too, so it's free of charge.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing, you know, and I sent an email out to the sheriff and Larry Benz and Jerry Johnston.
Yeah.
You know, if there's some other little antennas we can put on that and helps us.
Sent you their reply. yes.
Right,
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
anyway, if we can utilize it, that'd be great. If not, no big deal, but,
Yep,
so,
that'd be all for us too.
yeah, if you wanna get them on the agenda and have them come up and,
Might give you guys a little bit more to explain, yeah,
okay.
and explain to you. Just let you know we'll do that. And
Okay.
most of you know, Jim Biggerstaff is our communications for highway patrol, so he's one of the big ramrods of that. Renting, so these are pretty high professional people. So it's not talking about the old CD radios like we used to.
Okay.
We'll do that. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks.
You got something, Wheeler?
I do, but it's, I thought you were done by now, so I just want to talk to one of you.
We're stalling.
Go ahead.
His hands out still his case.
Oh, Chris, in accounts payable, is that hand heavy invoice? Are you good with that being paid this time?
No.
Okay.
thought Jerry said we were waiting until the new deputy chief got on board. Have we received it?
Okay, I don't know, so it got moved forward from us again, so I think
Okay.
at this point, we just need to send it back to Jerry, and when he's ready to pay it, he needs to move it forward.
So do I do that? I send it back to him?
So
Okay.
I'll show you when you deny, just, it'll ask you who you wanna send it back to.
Okay, that's fine.
The other
So-
one,
Yeah, I saw the video that he sent with that, so they don't have it yet. Still waiting for.
Yeah, they
our
haven't,
Deputy. and
haven't
then they're-
ordered it, we haven't received it.
Okay, so we shouldn't be getting a bill for it.
That's kinda what I thought, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's also one out there for the installation of a radio, I think, in the transit that never got paid. That,
there's an email behind it that Jerry tried to explain, and it was in between Kevindale and him, so it was a last year's bill.
Okay.
So you might look at that, there's emails behind it, whether you wanna approve that one or not.
it looks to be that there was some sort of dispute over the costs. I don't know what the backstory is, but.
Okay.
Remember that vendor?
Alright.
You'll see it, it's pretty obvious, it's 13 or 1700. So,
The wireless.
yeah, wireless.
Okay. Take a look at it and call him if I got questions.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, if it's something we need to all look at, just let me know.
Yep.
Because I thought it should be pretty plain and simple. We either owe it or we don't owe it.
Mm-hmm.
If Jerry's saying we need to pay it, then we probably need to approve it. But if there's some question as to whether
Yeah, we pay.
we were billed wrong, it's one thing.
What you
What
got
you
there?
got?
I got a letter from DNR, Woodland Old City Cemetery, 1022 East McCarty. We are mandated to inform you that the above named property will be considered by the Missouri Advisory Council on Historic Preservation for nomination to the National Register of Historic Places. It's got all the other stuff, but they're just letting us know since they're mandated to let us know.
Do you want any of them?
That's all I've got.
Then you need this one too.
Anything else?
All right, I move we go into closed session pursuant to section 610.021 of the revised statutes of Missouri for negotiated contract sub 12.
Second.
Roll call?
Sam?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Hey, LV. So you want us to, so you want to talk to us today?
He didn't get